How do you get around Boston?
I either bike or I take the T or I Uber.
I usually take the T or walk.
I have a bicycle.
Yeah, I take a T, so mostly red line and green line.
We parked our car somewhere and we just walk
I
around.
usually just walk or take the train. Usually.
Yeah, walk or take the train.
Yeah, usually.
I usually use the T or sometimes blue bike, sometimes drive, depending on where I gotta go.
I don't drive, so I've actually been lucky enough where I've been able to get anywhere I need to get using the train. The purpose of this project is to help the public understand that there are structural barriers that exist to allowing us to achieve climate mitigation, that we as a society can work towards solutions to the climate crisis, but that we're not all on the same playing field, that there are disproportionate impacts on certain communities, and that certain communities do not have the same opportunities to participate in climate mitigation. So we want to be aware of those challenges and spread awareness of those challenges to better address them in the future.
That's where we come in. As an ICONS team, we worked to analyze the MBTA's network of subway stations to determine the accessibility of public transportation in Boston and how it differs throughout the city. To assess the accessibility of the MBTA, we decided to investigate the relative area served by each subway station, using a method called the Voronoi technique. First, each subway station was set as a point on the map of Boston. To find the area each station serves, boundaries were expanded radially outward from each station until all boundaries met each other, creating what we call blobs. Any location in a given blob is closer to that specific blob's station than any other station on the map.
To create this map, we used a combination of GIS and R. GIS was used to create the map of the Boston T, and R was used to create the blobs using the Voronoi technique and also combine the blobs with a map of Boston.
We normalized the blob areas from 0 to 100 to assign each blob with a score that represents the accessibility of the subway system in a given region of Boston. Our findings indicate that blobs around the outskirts of the city in areas like Mattapan and Cambridge tend to be larger, whereas blobs toward the center of Boston are much smaller. Essentially, downtown is better served by the T than the suburbs are.
Currently, this research calculates land area around a stop to find the smallest straight-line distance from any given point to a subway station. However, this is a somewhat naive approach, and it could be improved by accounting for factors such as terrain and the arrangement of streets and buildings. So, to get a perspective on the actual state of the subway system, we went to Boston to investigate for ourselves.
Have you had any really memorable good or bad experiences with the T?
I definitely had some memorable bad ones, a lot of delays, and a lot of just waiting on platforms for trains to come, but nothing too bad. It's a pretty easy way to get around.
Someone took a shit on the T. That was really not good.
The only bad experiences I've had with the train was that it either got canceled or it got delayed and I was late to wherever I was going.
It's unpredictable, and that can be, very inconvenient.
Sometimes the green line is late.
Yeah. Probably it being late or breaking down when it was cold out. I got yelled at for reading a book.
You ever been on the red line when it derails?
No.
Dude, that shit sucks.
Any experiences with the T?
Yes. That's why I take Uber.
Although most of the data we collected aligns with our field research, there are certain stops that received a high blob score, even though there are other factors that limit their accessibility that were not accounted for.
Porter Square, for example, even though that stop might have a high score, in reality there are approximately 10 flights of stairs or a long ride on the escalator, making the station less accessible.
Improving accessibility to public transit is critical for reducing carbon emissions caused by transportation. By finding shortcomings in the accessibility of Boston's subway system, we're able to provide data that will allow for the optimization of the transit system. This research can be used as a launching pad for improving public transportations around the world.
Any of my new fries for